My fellow Americans, I would like to wish you and yours a very happy and productive midterm election year. I ask for your continued support in my efforts to replace each and every seat of Congress with children. This will help assure the passage of the Free American Pony for All Peoples Act, also known as FAP.
2014 will be a pivotal year. Am I hopeful about it? Absolutely. Why am I hopeful about it? Because those of us that are activists are starting to feel America change. We're starting to feel that people are taking interest in things that they never did before. The Trans-Pacific Partnership, the environment. They are really looking for solutions. And these solutions will be found not in Washington with a whole bunch of Congress people doing what the plutocracy wants them to do, but they will be doing what we, the activists, along with those that we support, demand that they do. So is 2014 going to be a pivotal year? Absolutely. Now, the reality, however, is we are at a tipping point, and it's those of us that are willing to go out there on the line that will determine if that tipping point will be towards the plutocracy or towards the people. We will decide.
Yeah, you can take that to the bank.
We're a multiracial, multi-ethnic coalition of groups and individuals from across the country dedicated to a constitutional amendment to abolish the illegitimate, court-created idea that corporations are persons with inherent and alienable constitutional rights and that money equals speech. These two doctrines created by the courts are illegitimate and they steal our sacred right to self-government. We invite you to join us in this growing campaign to ensure that we the people govern ourselves. Peace.
Friends, the future is ours. It is a frightening and dystopic future, but friends, it is ours.
This movement's principles change the way I think, and it's changing the way I live. One of the things I've learned is to try and do things in new and exciting ways. One of those things is the Light Brigade, the people's bandwidth. In 2014, I'll be focused on the Fresno Light Brigade, but I'll also be thinking about move to amend in an Article 5 convention to amend the Constitution. It's time for the people to build their own convention. It's time for the people to amend the Constitution. It's time for the people to obviate Congress, obviate the state. Have a great 2014.
This is wishing everybody a new year without the Fed. We're all fed up with the Fed. I want there to be a constitutional convention under Article 5. I want the uncut treasury notes that are on deposit in the banking cartel to be cut and released. And I want the dollars that are on deposit in the Bank of Hawaii, 170,500 metric tons of them, to be available to back our currency. And let's all work together to get all of this accomplished.
And in 2014, I'd like to see the anti-abortion legislation in Texas, HB 2, overturned. I want to see open government, Government 2.0. I want public debate between dissidents and our representatives. I want an open Article 5 convention. I want a pardon for Chelsea Manning and Edward Snowden. I want an end to the surveillance state. I want to see single-payer universal health care back on the table. I want to see critical pedagogy applied to public schools. I want to see environmental rights as a prereq for flourishing in our community.
My biggest hope for the coming year is that we'll finally turn the tide in the fight against climate change. I'm really concerned about our future, but I'm also really hopeful. And one reason for that hope is that this past year I've been working with some amazing people, both fighting the Keystone XL pipeline and also pushing for fossil fuel divestment. And their energy and their passion and their creativity are such an inspiration. And knowing also that there are people across the country and across the world who are in this fight with us, it fills me with so much hope. So personally, my biggest goal for this coming year is to build this movement, to build our community. Because I think that if we're strong and we're organized and we're persistent, that we can win this fight. And I am very optimistic that we will.
2014, this is the year. I'm doing it all the way to the top. USA, USA, USA.
I wish you all great results in our worldwide protesting year, 2014. To me, protesting is a form of love. I am not doing my part out of revenge. Protesting is a way of being vigilant and guardians of our own society to protect our freedom from violence and misuse of power. It must be about sharing and caring for each and every one of us, not just a few.
I wish 2014 to be a world with a free media. I'm going to work on that.
Because we live streamers got it going on.
And I just want to congratulate everybody for their victories, large or small, in returning the human culture to a society that respects the planet and the people and the animals and the plants, and not the bottom line of profits for corporation. And as long as we continue to move forward in this process, I believe we'll all be fine.
It's my goal for this coming year to continue to push forward with developments of projects like Community Shop, that efforts to make people's lives better on a daily basis. I also hope to inspire and encourage all of us to reach out to each other that are all in our own little paths in our activism in doing what we believe that will make this world a better place tomorrow than it is today. I encourage all of us to support each other in all of our different endeavors with whatever methods that we can do, whether it's sharing information or some airtime or videos like Dan is doing now. I encourage all of us to reach out together. After all, we all are one, and we're all after the same end game. I wish you peace, lots of luck, and much love for 2014.
It's not only my wish for the new year, but my resolution that the Tea Party and Occupy and everyone in between can come together under the surety that Washington will not reform itself. That in a transpartisan effort, we can exercise our constitutional privilege and call a convention to reform it for them, knowing that the things upon which we can agree represent some of the most important reforms that we can implement.
We give ourselves the tools to enhance our democracy, enhance our liberty. I also like the ideas of doing things like abolishing GMO farming in the United States and around the world. I wouldn't mind expanding Fourth Amendment privacy rights to our email and internet conversations, Skype, an amendment for a no confidence in Congress vote. I'd like to see national initiatives. I would like to see an end to prohibition. I would like to see universal health care, guaranteed access to voting, verifiable ballots. I would like to see the end of voting machines.
My hope for activism in 2014. More Lord of the Rings, less Lord of the Flies.
Hi, this is Freeman Sullivan. We're at globalrevolution.tv, and we're talking about 2014. What we have planned is, first of all, that we want to set up a global media comms. We're already in the process of doing that right now, but we want to expand on that idea, and we want to provide business models and equipment and all the things that citizen journalists need in their area to make sure that they properly report the news. Also, 2014, we hope to take on and engage the banksters, and Occupy Wall Street. We want to see Occupy flourish and thrive again. We're not necessarily going to set up big, huge camps like we did before, but we want to put the banksters and the 1% on notice that the world is not going to continue. The inequitable economic situation will not continue, and we're here to make sure that doesn't happen again. And much peace and much love to you all out there, and that's what we have in stock for 2014.
Over the course of the last 110 years or so, the United States has drifted from being a democratic republic toward what could be called an empire for the corporations, a worldwide regime. If the United States is to once again become the republic that our founders intended us to be, we have to amend the Constitution to make it clear corporations do not have constitutional rights and that money is not speech. Won't you join us today?
Happy New Year, everybody. 2014 has the potential to be an incredible year. Here on Kauai, 2013 was a time when thousands of us stood up and spoke to our own freedom to be able to take care of our own lands, and we realized we could grow our solutions in our own backyard if we want to. So many of us spoke, and we are so supported by the world. We're thankful that there's billions of us that all want to build a better place. And we look forward to all the potential of this year as more and more people come together where we can reclaim from the exploitation of our lands to have a beautiful tomorrow.
First of all, on a political scene, I was not very happy. We had an obstructionist Congress that was the worst Congress in the United States history. They are the do-nothing Congress, which is why I have helped co-write an amendment for the Constitution called No Confidence in Congress, allowing the American people the opportunity, when a Congress refuses to do their job and uphold their oath of office, for the American people to vote them out of office in between election years. I'm hoping that in 2014 we will have an Article 5 convention that will allow the power of the people to speak in amending the Constitution so that we can purge some of the legislation that Congress has passed that benefits only the 1%, corporate America, and of course our corporate greedy politicians. We need a lot more strong women in our legislative bodies here in the United States, whether it be Congress, on a state level, or even in local communities. Secondly, I'm not real happy with our energy policies in this country. When I see Germany, who is at 90% solar power, and other countries that are employing wind power and solar power, it is time for the United States to get off of the backs of the fossil fuel industry. It is time for politicians in corporate America to wake up and realize that the environment is far more important on this planet than the profits in their bank accounts.
Howdy, howdy. I'm Getch, one of the hosts of OEMG's Occupy Radio, and I hope for pretty much the same thing the rest of you are hoping for. I hope that we successfully revoke corporate personhood, that we get to the bottom of GMOs and save the bees. I hope that we manifest universal health care, that we end indefinite detention without charge. I hope we repeal the Patriot Act, end the wars and bring home the troops. And I hope the new college football playoff system is going to be better than the BCS. And I hope that you all tune into the Occupy the Media Collective, where we will be bringing the voices of the revolutionaries into the mainstream. Happy New Year.
If you can hear this, then likely I am still alive. I've been captured and kept in prison by the powers of tyranny, and we have to free ourselves from these problems within and without. Please send help. The earth needs us. Humans need clean air, healthy food, and people before politics. Please send help. And Happy New Year.
Early this past year, a young man by the name of Kamani Gray became the latest black man to be killed by New York City police. I spent most of this last year working on a full-length documentary about Kamani Gray called Defended in the Streets. My goal for 2014 is to complete and release this documentary and hopefully raise some consciousness about institutionalized racism and the killing of black youth.
And I guess my big wish for 2014 would be that we could get the money out of politics and that we can actually have a publicly funded election at some point down the road, but really start towards that so that you don't have to have $1 million to run. And the second thing I would like to see is us go after the media in the form of protesting their licensing and force them to carry the news that is so important that people know. And so if we can get that, I would have a very happy 2014. Thank you.
For 2014, I would like our planet to realize we cannot have nuclear power running rampant on our planet. That it's going to be most destructive and most evident after Fukushima. And just the cost of cleaning that up can bring down Japan financially. And the cost to clean up the nuclear mess that we've created could bring down our civilization. So I hope that in 2014 we can begin to tackle that problem and get ourselves off that extremely bad decision to use nuclear power for electrical generation. Aloha.
What I think is going to be really important for me in 2014, the same things I thought all the other years too. I want accountability from government. I want to endorse healthcare solutions for everyone, and I'd like to see whistleblowers be protected. I'd like to see the 99% become a common concept where we are all reaching out to reform government where it needs reforming. We are not just the children of God, we are going to be the adults of God, and as adults we're going to grow up and take care of our earth and all the 99%.
For 2014, I certainly would like to popularize the book by Chalmers Johnson. It's called Dismantling the Empire. I think that's the kind of awareness we need to bring to people. And also, I recently saw an article in The Progressive that had this woman, American woman, who lost her husband in the original 9/11 in Chile. And there was a film made about it. It's called Missing. And I think that we can bring that to the local community and really reawaken people about how the original 9/11 came about. So that's my personal goals for this year.
And I say it is about time to reboot the system.
That's my dream is for the next year, is so that everyone can be more aware that we don't have to have capitalism just bringing us down and making us poorer and the rich richer.
Avert climate disaster, rein in the national security state and the Wall Street banksters. And locally, it'd be to shut down the Pohokaloa training area, the largest military training site outside the continental USA.
My hope for 2014 is for a more open and transparent government. I would like to see public records available to the public in an electronic form, if at all possible, and immediately. I would like to see more people run for office. There's always going to be a government, so we just have to decide what it's going to look like and who's going to be in it. So I would like to encourage everybody to step up their game a little bit for 2014. I think we had a great 2013, and we've got a lot to build on for next year.
See, our systems from local, state to federal are not broken. They are designed the way they are. And in order to reform them, we must have progressive candidates that we, the people, elect. Joe Snodgrass, Crescent City, Florida.
This is Janet Wilson from Occupy the Roads.
Yeah.
Jeff Shaw.
I'm Mark Fanjoy.
David Cobb. I'm Mike Bridges, aka the Fifth Mike.
Joe here from Occupy the Roads, Pueblo House, Pueblo, Colorado.
My name is Vermin Supreme. I approve this message.
No and no ever the will, no sever the trip, looking for something to prove, looking for something to say. We eat our grits and we don't mind sweet and tea. Oh, baby, no, the TV talk, myself on the wise, get your bags. Oh, baby, no, call me Pablo Cracky, them words tell me we cry. So pleasant, you got something to say, but them words you speak deep down, loving to irritate. We're not that fooled by fire. There's hard head to see. Keep your money coming. I will feed your cheap cornbread and them grits keep blowing, baby. Collard greens. My mama said that, boy, listen, don't pay me.